And you can also, in this case I'm actually echoing it inline, you can save that as a variable if you want to use it for some reason. Let's say we have $greeting equals hello, but we want to capitalize that. We've now saved it as a variable. If I want to, I can save it as a second variable. You get the idea, even if I'm not spelling very well today. So this is basic string manipulation and how you do this. There's a variety of other ones that you can use. We've been talking about, ironically, I've been using the case of switching the case of the letters, but there's already functions that do that. There's string to uppercase, and then the only parameter is the name of the value that will return. It will take hello and turn it into hello, all uppercase. Instead of string to upper, you can go string to lower, which will do the opposite effect. It'll make the entire thing lowercase. You can have uppercase first, which will take just the first letter and make it uppercase. Everything else lower, you can do uppercase words. So the first letter after every single space will be turned into an uppercase. Like I said, there's a long list of possible functions that are out there. There's just about anything you can think of within PHP. Somebody's come up with a way to do it in the script. The only time you're going to need to come up with a custom function is when you have some specific need for it that is complex, that is not included in PHP itself. You can create your own functions and then use them yourself. The syntax for doing that is write function, write the name of the function. So I don't think there's one called capitalize, so we can do that, and then in parentheses, the parameter that you're going to pass to it. If you know that throughout your script you're going to need to capitalize the letter M in your script, or you're going to need to lower it, you take whatever parameter is passed into this function, and you save that as, you do whatever adjustments you need to do to it. And then at the end, after you've done all of your manipulations, you return that value. And so the equivalent of doing this is just I cannot spell today. You can now use this like any other function. So just write it in line like any other.
Could you use a custom function like that? Like, you know, sometimes in like news articles or on blogs, it automatically will bold like certain words, like proper names or words that link to other stories. Could you do something like that where like it looked into an array you had of predefined words or something, and then it bolded those or made them links to their own stories?
You can do that, and in fact a function would be great for that because you're going to be using it at different points in your script, and you want to have a library of words to bold that you want to call upon. In this case, I'm imagining
you probably have to have like the word in its URL, right, if you wanted it to go to another story.
But you would use string replace for that. So if you're a sports website, right, and you have a list of athletes in there, like Evan Longoria is in there, and you have articles about him, then he's somewhere in your system in the list, and here's the address about him. So that would probably be an array. So you'd have an array of names and links, right? And so let's actually start writing this up just so you can see what this looks like here.
Like I know the New York Times does that with like with different kinds of topics, but I always thought it was pretty cool because I'm sure it happened on the fly. I don't think someone was going through every story and hyperlinking certain words.
And also by itself, linking every single word in the article.
So you have an article, we're going to call it S-Story, and you have an array of all of your athletes which will have many names in it and many URLs in it. So let's run through for each of the athletes in that array as name and URL. We are going to do a string replace on story. So somewhere within the story, we have a reference to the name. So we're going to replace the name with a link around that same name. I had mentioned last week that all strings are contained within quotation marks. If you want to put quotation marks in a string, you just have to put a forward slash or backslash in front of them to escape it. So in this case, we're going to refer to SURL. So you've just created a link around it. And now as name, and your link, and your string, and finally as story. Yes, it's getting a little bit long for the window. This may be a little bit easier to read if I take out these. So we're taking, for the entire story we're running through for each athlete, we're going to go through and we're going to find their name, we're going to replace it with this, and now we've done it. So if Evan Longoria's name does not appear in the story, it doesn't do anything. It returns the exact same string that it started with. If it does find it, then now we've got ourselves a link, and you can put around this, you can put bold tags, you can put around whatever you want to put around it. That's how it will be done.
You could do like the same thing with travel sites, right? With predefined words that link to other stories.
Mm-hmm.
What about linking to a database? Would it work the same way?
Mm-hmm. When you get information out of a database, well, you don't link to the database exactly. You're linking to a page that is built from something in the database.
Right.
So in this case, like Evan Longoria would be like a menu of stories that are about him that are in the database that are tagged with his name or something. In this case, you're pulling information out of a database, and I'll get into that in a few minutes, but when you pull information out of a database, what you're getting is an array. That's all it is. So it's like a list of athletes' names here.
I guess I'm asking about and it's probably a bit more complicated than, and I'm sure it is more complicated than this, but like for example on the St. Pete summer site and for the redesign, we're linking listings through an API to the Google Map in the story.
In that case, you're
There's
still
an API, right, from the Google Maps
yes,
to the database?
sort of. Google Maps API is JavaScript based,
Okay.
and so all JavaScript lives in HTML. It is the front end of the site. All we have to do is put some lines in the top of it that define what the points are on the map. And that information is pulled out of the database.
Right.
That's what we do is we say, what are you looking at here? You're looking at, say, beaches as your topic, whatever. It goes to the database. It gets all of the listings that are going to match
the
that
names,
latitude
right?
and longitude, right?
Right.
And then it outputs a list for each result in the database, echo a line of JavaScript with this latitude, this longitude, and this information that will pop up bubble.
Okay.
And that will ultimately generate the JavaScript that appears on the page that shows the map. So that's how you're putting PHP and HTML and JavaScript all together.
Okay. I'm
Well,
not, but
you get the idea.
yeah.
Cool.
So I'm not going to go through all of the possible string functions here. There's mathematical functions. We talked about how to do math inline already. You can just put math functions right in there. That works fine. There's a few that matter if you want to have a numerical format that is different than this. You can, like decimals. You can use number format for that. And then how many decimal points. And so if you were to echo this, n hour is equal to 10. So this would equal 10.00 on the screen.
oh, I see. So to 2 decimal points.
Mhm.
So if you want to do 20 zeros to the left, 20.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, because it's this one to the right. The zeros on the right.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I won't ever know my right from my left. It's too late.
Yeah, because you're putting. Yeah, you're.
I'm sorry, did I?
No, it's just.
No.
Don't forget, no math.
No math?
Here. But these are to the right.
But I do know what 8 plus 2 is.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're not saying 2 decimal, you're saying it's
It's
2
2
digits.
2 digits
decimals.
actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
2
two
decimals to
decimal
the right.
points.
Right, so if
okay,
n hour is
He was
equal to
thinking,
10.
oh, you put 20 to the left. No, this will go.
Right. I
Right.
understand that.
Yeah.
Now if n hour was
you
actually
say
equal to
decimal?
10 point something like this, then number format with 2 decimal points is going to turn it into
10.5.
that.
3, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.